Hello there, I'm Electric Wolf, and I want to show you the latest update we've done to our book effect, which is available on the Unity Asset Store. To start with, I want to show you how the book effect is currently working, and this is exactly how it used to be. So we can open the book and we can turn the pages. The important part we've updated here is the effect that on the turning there's no clipping that we used to get. So if I slow the turning page down and turn, when this turns over, you'll see it doesn't clip into the white and it has a smooth transition between the two. Change the speed back up and turn, and the same when we turn backwards as well. So that's much cleaner than it used to be. Right, the next big update that we've done to our book effect is we've now made it so you can customize the size and shape of the book itself. Previously this was a single mesh and we couldn't modify it, but now it's dynamically created. So if we look here on my book definitions, I've got the width and the height, and as you imagine, if I change the width and I change the height and I build the book and just close it 1 second, you can see that it is much bigger than it used to be. And then we can change the thickness of the book as well, which is the whole thickness of the book. So we build and close the pages, you can see we have got much more thickness here. The other aspect we've changed is the actual thickness of the cover as well, so we can set this quite thick, which is like so. You can see how that thickness has changed here. Also that the UVs map round to use that texture, to use that space as well. If I just set this back to something a little bit more reasonable, let's do it like that. Let's just build. Dinky little book. We also have these options here, so we can open and close the book in the editor, which will allow you with positioning of that book when you want to see it. So maybe you need it closed when you position it, and then you also need to know how much space that's going to take up. I'm just going to make the cover thickness a bit more delicate. There we go. So that works really well. If we open, one of the other things we've changed, or allowed you to change, is this gap, the edge gap. So if I change the size of this, it will show it's the amount of space we have between the edge of the book with how the pages start. So if we make this a little bit more obvious, you can make it so your book cover is way bigger than the actual pages inside. That's entirely up to you. Something else that we have is a turning effect. I'll have to run this. So currently I have it as page bottom, which means that when it turns a page, it kind of turns it from the bottom of the page, and this is kind of the point it comes over. You can see this is the leading part that comes around, and the same when it goes back. And this is slowed down to make it a little bit more obvious. The other version I have is a total flat version. So this is where the page is totally rigid and there's no kind of lead on that, the whole thing turns. Hopefully I'll add more as time allows. So the next couple of options we're looking at are these book cover UV sizes. So first of all, we've got a UV cover width, and this is at 96%, and this is the actual width of the texture used to define the front of the book. The bit in the middle will be the spine, and the bit remaining on the other side is going to be the back of the book. So you can see here it's at 96%. So 96% of that texture is going to be the front cover. So should you need a better definition on your spine, this number will come down. In fact, if we make it come back here, you can see here the percentage of the book is reduced. So we've got more textures on the actual spine, but it's obviously the texture is not very good for this, and it's corrupting it slightly. So just push it right back to 46. So 46% of the texture is that front page. The other bits I'm not going to modify here is the percentage of the texture used to do the edge. So if we give our edge a bit more definition, like so, you can see here this texture is different to the one on the front because it's still going off in a direction, and that's all done by these values here. So you can increase or decrease these values. So if we go with our the Y, We can increase this value. You can see here more textures being used on that border effect. It will allow you to kind of texture the front of the book, but also that edge, should you have it kind of very prominent. If not, then you can almost ignore it. The other nice thing that we have is the ability to put textures on anything you like. So we've got an inner cover and an outer cover. So I've got a outside cover, which is obviously this, and also the edge. Then we've got an inside cover, which obviously you can't see much of because of the pages. And then we've got an inside page, front and back, so it's the back page and the front page. So they're defined separately. And then we've got the pages edges, which is not very easy to see here, so let's just change this. And the thickness here. It's the page edges is this texture being used here, and it all comes together to give you quite a nice book where you can define how it looks. And then of course we've got the pages. You can add as many pages as you like, which is obviously the turning pages. Just keep it in pairs and you'll be fine. We've also got a starting page, so ideally this will be in sequences of 2s, so you can start it at whatever page you like, and these buttons in the UI to do that. And then there's the speed of the animation, so should you want it to be faster or slower, and you can change that at any point. So that's basically the overview of the book effect and all its new options. If you go onto the Unity Asset Store and have a look at the description, you can click and you'll see extra information about how to use the book. Obviously this video will also be posted there, but there's details on all of the inspector options you have, and also notes on how to use it from code as well. So if you get any problems, I do have a contact email address. It's on that web page, but it's also contact@electricwolf.co.uk. Send me any concerns, problems, and I'll hopefully get back to you and fix anything you have problems with. Thank you very much.